Hi everyone, my name is Tawfiq Rawnak, current Vanderbilt HOD senior, and my site is at the Bali Children Foundation, and where I worked under business development under the implementation section. And this project aims to kind of showcase how I worked through work, myself, and the society as well. Now, digging deep into the Bali Children Foundation, it all started off with a lot of chaos, with a lot of language barriers, deadlines, and a lot of things scattered all over the place. It could be very intimidating. However, it's important to understand that with all this intimidation needs to come collaboration. And that is what a tight-knit group at BCF that I was able to access, and that I'm really fortunate for, really allowed me to kind of reframe that chaos into something more of a learning challenge. And digging deep into the who and what, I want to specifically shout out my supervisor, Kadek Suparma, where his focus was aiming on teacher training to take complex subjects into something more clear and actionable. And some common things that I took away from his expertise included breaking problems into its basic aspects and iterating quickly and knowing who to talk to for certain problems, because that kind of allows you to be way more efficient and way more feasible with the solution. And this was important because this kind of connects into the five major aspects talked by Drucker's Managing Oneself on how I've lived through these five aspects and how intertwined I was with these five, and not just in a work perspective, but in a personal perspective as well. And tying that into the site visit and the site and the human-centered design project, instead of just focusing on organizational tactics and all these things from a work perspective, I wanted to target it from a personal perspective as well, like analyzing one's goals, one's dreams, one's achievements, and one's future endeavors, and really drawing that out on a glimpse. And the best metaphor that I could use for this for my website was a brain. And this is where I kind of showcased all the different neuronic aspects of what connects to what, and on how for the podcast, we were able to talk to some leaders in Indonesia about their goals and how they kind of frame it from a design perspective as well. And when we look into beyond work, it's important to realize that it can be very complex. Many people with all these things in their head can needs to be a lot more streamlined. And with this streamlined, you have to start off with a blank canvas. Start off fresh so you can start out one by one by one, and that's how you can become very efficient with such work. And lastly, when looking into society and involving technologies such as AI, and a core aspect of one of my projects that aims to use coding and AI into school education is to really understand that AI is a double-edged sword. Yes, it can be very beneficial, but it can also be very harmful. Thus, really involving a logic-based thinking approach instead of just pure coding on the project, which turned out to be very successful. And lastly, one of the biggest things is from a day one, we start off with just a good old internship, but day two, kind of looking into really being consistent and being very innovative with such technologies and really looking to that from a personal and work perspective. Thank you.